Harry Windsor. This is your sister. I hope you remember me because you gave me an ultimatum when grandfather Philip Mountbatten came to give me my inheritance from some of the projects that I was working with him and along with some of his brothers and cousins. And you wanted to know how come I had more money than you and I was much younger and you were the one with the title. So we see number one, as I was indicating to you before, my father and your father are not the same. That's just one aspect to it. According to the laws of the land, you have to protect the heir to the throne and his immediate family, which at that time they considered to be those by blood. And I mean, you have children, right? You would want the ones that are your blood to be protected, unlike the ones that are being adopted, all right? Or having been made with other men. The other aspect to it is that when you were a boy, all right, probably around 1995 or so, your mother came to the country because she was one of my investors. She didn't give me money exactly, but she was the one who spoke with some of the other relatives who supported me just by being there a couple of times passing through. Now, what they started to do, the East Indian community started to block her because Rudranath Kapildev had invented a machine and they thought that what I invented was what Rudranath Kapildev had already done. My work was something far superseding what he had done. He made a diesel engine, all right? But what I did was different. And you can ask our uncle if you don't believe, but I won't send you there. All right, it's not safe for you to go anywhere near our family because what these people who you have been taken advantage of by have been doing is monitoring you, your sexual activities, everything, and following you spiritually and physically. So what they did is that when 1995, someone by the name of Ramesh Lawrence Mirage had stated that your mother, Diana, Princess Diana, was a high end white call girl. And she set up someone by the name of Lawrence Gopi to have sex with her. Lawrence Gopi, seeing that Ramesh Lawrence Mirage was a politician at the time, a lawyer, thought that his son David Alexander, the young man whom I later on in life did not know his ancestry stories and whatnot, dated, he was with your mother in Port of Spain. Within that same week, Abu Bakr as well was lied to, and he himself was with her. You were just a boy, and around that same time, whether the same week or whether within the same year, someone by the name of Indira Acosta, who is also a UNC follower, was lied to and told that you were over the age of 18 and that you were looking for some experience. And she came and she was with you. I don't know if you remember that cowboy ride, but she was on top and she got pregnant. So you have a daughter with her and she's East Indian, Hindu. She is also my stepfather's brother's wife. So she used to be my aunt. They are divorced now, and she no longer carries the name Indira Costa. She now carries the name Indira Bodu. And what she has been advocating for is for India. So she used to literally divulge information to these people who would divulge it to Indian presidents and prime ministers and whatnot in East India, which would explain the rise in Asia and the decline in UK and US white privileged inventions and lives. Their work was literally being infiltrated and stolen and just given away to India with no money for no money. All right, they never got money from it. Instead, what she did, her brother attacked me. He had chopped me behind my back and a bit of my ears and whatnot. Luckily, I healed without scars. But he had chopped me because I had indicated to her growing up that she was a good aunt to me and that I would help her, not knowing she was poisoning my food as well. And that when she realized that you were under the age of 16 and that it was in fact rape And if not, rape would be shunned upon because you were a young boy and you were not married or anything like that. She, after my head injury in 2002, what she started to do was manipulate me. So she knew Mr. Louis Vuitton and your mother and the American community was raising up the black community, and she knew this. So what she told her people is that they could climb with us, but when they're almost there, they will pull themselves back. They will pull back. So that's one of the reasons why no matter how much money you spend or grandpa or mama spend, no matter how high I go, I always get pulled back because she was the one that set it up so, and she used the authority that she was my aunt by law, because that's my stepfather's sister-in-law and they grew up in the same household. So she used her authority to make it look as though she was protecting me when she was only protecting herself. So I'm sending this video directly to you. All right. She lives at Main Road, Tabaki, Trinidad and Tobago. That's literally next to Mixed Rhythms Bar. All right. Next to it, if you're facing the bar, it's on the house on the left-hand side, on the left-hand side of the road. And that's the mother of your daughter. You have a daughter with her. I've seen the child in my arrow once, and they have her as a high-end call girl. They had her having sex since primary school. And your family, the Spencer family, thought that I was the one bringing in black people on the terrestrial plane because I was the only black girl and was told not to do such things, and I have not. All right? It was your own daughter. That's why she's up on that plane. And they used her by having sex with her, and they pulled themselves up with her on that plane, which would explain your deteriorated look and manner. It's not me, dear Henry Windsor, that caused you to be losing your substance. It's these people that took advantage of you because they are Hindu, they are not Christians, and they believe in witchcraft and all these different pagan things that I am telling you is not good. Right? They believe in sacrifice and all these things. So the reason she did that to you is because her husband, from my understanding, my step uncle, was with a woman and he conceived a child. The child name is Logan Paul. You may know him. He's a YouTuber. He's a wrestler now, I think. And he has the Prime business. All right? The energy drink Prime. When she found out that he had an affair and had a son, she thought she could find a rich white man and have a child and be somebody too, not understanding that what she did was took advantage of a child, and in doing so sank our family financially. They put me to work because she cannot read well. All right, she cannot read well, and she dropped out of elementary school when she was a child to get married. So she was a child bride, right? She went to Tabakit Secondary School, they say, but I was told that they undermined certain principles to let her in because my uncle was Spanish, and to them he's considered white, and he had indicated he wanted to get married to her, so they never really educated her. They just sort of pushed her through school to get her married. All right. So she's not highly educated, not sophisticated. I remember one time she went to the hospital and she saw the, I call it the vapor, but I call it smoke coming out of the water. And she was telling people when you get burned, you have to put the foot to soak in hot water. My mother, Wendy Abbott Acosta, my father's first wife, and then your mother, whom your mother respected very much because she told her personally in my presence that she would share my father with my mother. All right? My mother had to tell her, no, it's ice water, because if you get burned, that means your foot is hot. You need to cool it down, so you need to put ice, and when you put ice, it will cause water vapor. That's what you're seeing. That's not smoke. because she was actually telling people to put hot water. So she was really, really not smart. And my mother literally had to train her because she felt too embarrassed. And my uncle would feel very embarrassed when we were having family discussions and she was just not saying anything sensible at all, speaking broken English and all of these things. So, what happened if you were soul merged with someone like that? And I presume when you go on the terrestrial plane where your soulmates are and they could inhibit you spiritually, you start reflecting who they are. Because I had been with someone who was an engineer, a scientist, so to speak. And there were times when we went on that plane, I never did science at that level at that time, and I was able to speak scientifically. All right. I didn't go in depth into science, but I could have. And I thought it was a joke until I actually experienced the people that you have coitus with on that plane, you reflect them. Something about them resonates in you. So, what I'm saying to you is don't blame me or my mother, all right? Some of these people that were with you and took advantage of you as a child were the people who worked with other farmers because UNC people, if you look at our history, the UNC party stemmed from the WFP, Workers Farmers Party. Later on, they dissolved it and turned it into the DLP, the Democratic Labour Party. And then on the third try, they changed it to the United National Congress, which is what we know today. So they went through three changes before they could get to that level. And most of the people that they hired were East Indian people who were tasker workers, meaning farmers or children of farmers. So they were not highly educated. They just knew bare minimum and were trainable. All right. Special cases were for like people like Mr. Rudranath Kapilde, who had an invention, which is why he was given the opposition leader position, and his own people within the party. The Maharaj family, the same family that attacked your mother and put up people to attack you, they were the same people that caused Dolce's investment with Williams to go sour. And they lied and said it was drug related, as in cocaine, narcotics. That's not true. All right. I'm letting you know this because the UNC people in our country, they come together and they work against people. Even if you are wrong, they tell themselves he's one of ours and we must protect them. That's their ideology, that's their philosophy. So if you commit murder and you're a UNC person and you're high up the ladder, the people come together to protect you. They will lie and say, I never see nothing. Me, I know, me, I know. Or if you ask them a question, well, speak, boy, they will hush their mouths. They will just not speak, or they will bend their head and they will not speak. You could hit them, you can do what you want. They will not speak the truth. And then there are the third batch who would lie. They know, and they would say, no, he was with she never do nothing. She just gone in the room and come out. She never was with him. That is not true. That is not true. That is a lie. No, that never happened. Those are the three types of East Indian people in that party, yeah? And I'm telling you, because I'm your sister, I still regard you as a big brother sometimes, in spite of knowing that you were not biologically my brother. I always considered you a brother until you started attacking me for those same people that hurt our mother. And I do mean our mother, because your mother adopted me and she regarded me as her daughter because I put her name on the investments that I had when I had invented some stuff that the East Indian community thought I stole from Rudranath Kapilde, which was not true. All right, so your uncle heard me and he thought I was playing, and other people thought I was playing. But when he listened closely, having the knowledge of science, he said, let's give what she's saying a try, and it worked. So it was by sheer accident, but the fact that it was my words, he gave me royalties and he took me very seriously and he put my name on documents because it was my contribution that caused them to act, to cause it to work. So I am part to, you know, be thankful of. So I'm grateful for our uncle who did things in honor. and valiance. And I'm sending this message to you. Please listen it out to the very end because it is literally your life. And it's only going to go worse from here because East Indian people at that black level, they only know to pull you all the way down, take what you have, and perhaps kill you. They don't send you back as somebody valiant and better than them. And as you can see, your life from being there has deteriorated very badly because you're no longer a prince by title. All right? And given your status as an illegitimate child, it creates a lot of talk. So these people were the ones that ruined your life, Henry, not me. Or should I say Harry?